All right, next up, Joel Embiid and Ben Simmons pulled from the All-Star game for health and safety protocols after contact with a Philadelphia barber who later tested positive for COVID-19. Now, Doc Rivers said Sunday he's hopeful they will be back by Thursday, but that depends on the league's contact tracing program, how much risk the doctors assess them to have been at. If they have to sit a full week, they could miss 2 games against the Bulls Thursday and the Wizards on Friday. So, Zach, Sixers duo missing the All-Star game, possibly multiple games more, something, nothing, or everything.
Obviously, it's something. This is, the world we live in now. And the most important thing right off the bat is hopefully the barber is okay, because this thing is no joke. It hits some people really hard. And our focus immediately was, who's out for the All-Star game? Is there going to replace it? No, the focus is should be with the barber. But yeah, I mean, this is the reality of the world until things change. And this is going to keep happening in the second half of the season until and unless there's sort of mass vaccination. And the second half of the season doesn't have that built-in cushion at the back of the schedule, at least as things exist now. So the NBA just has to cross its fingers and hope that a team doesn't have a Spurs situation or a Wizards situation where they have to be parked for a long time, because then it raises questions about how exactly the schedule is going to work. But this was something, and it reinforced, even though the NBA did a great job apparently taking care of everything, it reinforced that there was some risk. There was a nightmare scenario that existed with All-Star. It appears they've avoided it, though.
You know what? Look, Rachel, Zach, I was looking at Doc Rivers' body language on the sideline, right? And I'm thinking maybe because he had to see Kawhi and Paul George, 2 guys that wanted him out of L.A., but that wasn't the case. He was more concerned about Joel Embiid and Ben Simmons and what is the effect that it's going to have on their team. When you look at this 76ers team, they were playing expiring winning basketball before the All-Star break. And one thing you don't want to mess up is chemistry. Usually when you come in after the All-Star break, you want everyone healthy. This is when you want to hit your stride. This is when you start really playing agenda-free basketball, because there's nothing else to make. I mean, obviously you could go for your individual awards, but everything else is all about coming together and for the marathon on trying to win the championship. And them just missing 2 games is a lot. From an injury standpoint, guys coming back, not really having their legs and not being able to go out there and practice or whatever the case may be, you could have that risk of injury. So it's everything to me. Hopefully everyone will be fine. We see these 2 studs back on the court again soon, but I feel Doc Rivers right now. I can see it in his face. I've been knowing him for 20 years.
I was going to say, Doc, and Zach is right, too. The NBA, in some ways, got a little bit lucky here. If the COVID test from the barber had come back, I don't know, 6 hours later than it did, or 8 hours, I don't know what the exact swing is, those guys would have been in the locker room with their All-Star teammates. And so then you would have looked at a much more sprawling contact tracing situation that they didn't have to go through. And that is partly because they've had rigorous testing all the way throughout, and partly luck, which they got lucky in that regard. And we do send our best to the barber who is infected and hope that Joel and Ben come out of this safely. All right, let's move on to LeBron. He did play nearly 13 minutes in the first half. Then he took the entire second half off, allowing Damian Lillard to start the third quarter for him. LeBron even enjoying a snack on the bench as his team rolled to a 20-point victory. Perk, is LeBron sitting the second half something, nothing, or everything?
It's nothing, Rachel, but one thing, just like I would never doubt Adam Silver again, I would never doubt LeBron James' GM skills again, because he's 4-0. He knew what he was doing when he picked Giannis with the #1 pick, knowing that Giannis was going to come out there and carry the load, and then add Dame Dollar and Steph Curry to the mix, along with a Jaylen Brown, and putting that nickname under him, Jaylen Underappreciated Brown, so he could light a fire into him, knowing he was going to sit out in the second half and be a player coach. LeBron James ain't fooling nobody. I knew exactly what he was doing.
I think it's everything. It's everything. The image of LeBron snacking on the sideline is going to be one of the defining images of this game. And he's a 17-time All-Star. He's earned it. I say we take it to a new extreme next year. Let's get a platter with forks and knives, a full-on 5-course meal going on the bench. Bring back the glass of wine. Remember he walked in one day with the glass of wine? Just have a nice, leisurely second half of the game. Team LeBron was so good, they didn't even need LeBron. And why not just relax and take in the festivities? He's the next the modern day Jordan. Let's let him enjoy it.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.